truth. Darius has arrived.
5-day forecast, sunshine, rainbows, and Janice signing off.
The real athlete is on the court. You can leave now. It's game time. Eat it. Rewind that, Zillion. I want to see it again.
Please speak directly into the microphone.
Too easy. Dunkmate. If there isn't any dunking, it isn't a sport.
Next time, you get my back. Huh?
Welcome back to the OPL. If you're just joining us, Chiefs have taken a victory over Tainted Minds in this second series of this Sunday. My name is Michael Hingusing, and I'm joined here at the Analyst desk by Nathan Mendrix-Mendez and Juves here from Sin Gaming. And gentlemen, what does Tainted Minds need to do to get back into this series? Juves, let me start with you.
I think they just need a reset mentally. They weren't too far off it.
Early game,
they did develop an early lead. I'd like to see a different pick ban. No offense to Nero.
No.
I'd like to see maybe a more meta 80 carry. I think Ziggs is very niche. And just play to what Tainted are good at, and that's skirmishing and making the game a little kerfuffle.
Well, Mendrix, in Nero said they've been practicing Ziggs for about a week, but like Juve said, that's quite a niche pick. We've seen it a bit internationally, but do you think this is something they're going to pick again and try again in Game 2?
It's absolutely possible, but I don't think they're going to try it again in Game 2. We'll probably see it again probably in a later weeks, or when they decide to. We've got it right again. We'll give it a shot this time. But when they do it, they sort of need to play to that composition. And what I mean by that is if you shouldn't be going for 17-minute dragon fights when you are a tower-focused team taking composition. They really should have just been going for those towers, kept the pressure on the Chiefs, made it so they didn't really have a way to get around those neutral objectives, and that would have been more of a way for them to get to that victory.
We also saw them picking Zach into Spooks' Rek'Sai. Jivs, you were saying before the break that it wasn't necessarily a very strong pick. Is there something better they could have chosen there?
So I definitely think with the bans, obviously, that came in, there wasn't that many junglers available to shorter ace. But I think he's a big Olaf player. Olaf not the greatest in this meta, but I don't think Zach is either. So I think you could probably pick Olaf and look to try and abuse the Rek'Sai early, because as soon as you land one undertow, Rek'Sai can't necessarily run away, and you have that true damage and the skirmish potential to kill him.
Another great thing about having Olaf is you are going into a virus as well, and one of the big things that Olaf is known for is he pops that Ragnarok and he goes, and you can't stop him, you can't deal with him. He's sort of like a train just running straight towards your ADC, and God help your ADC if he can get away in that situation. And it really is difficult for Varus to deal with that. He's going to throw his chains of corruption, and it's not going to chain him. He's just going to kill you. So it would have been very effective considering they had that lockdown, and it would have been completely nullified with one jungle pick.
All right, well, across the rift, their opponents, the Chiefs, and what do they need to do to lock this out, to really shut this down and get a 2-0 here? Juves, your thoughts?
I just think play the same way they did.
Yep.
They had a clean game. Early game, bit of a hiccup, but the good teams, they bounce back from that. And yeah, you can just see the decision making on Chiefs is so much more crisp and concise and clear. Like that Baron call to get that Baron, Tainted had no idea.
Sneaky Baron.
Yeah. So
yeah, and it's just one of those things where it does come with experience that they've had for so long, and because they're able to continue all those rotational plays that they just did around the Dragon, from that point on they were able to take the game. It is just easy for them to continue this standard form of play, and that's exactly what they need to do, just keep it up.
But if Tainted Minds do make those changes, like maybe they pick the Olaf into the Rek'Sai, maybe they pick a more standard AD carry, I mean, what do Chiefs need to do then to make sure they don't win? Because even if they make those improvements, surely they've got a shot at this game, right, Mendrix?
Well, they've got the momentum. That's the big thing you have to take into account. And when you do have the momentum, that means that you're just able to immediately take the next game, continuing to play standard. And it is known Chiefs can pretty much just outclass the Tainted Minds. And what I do like about what they had in that initial team composition is Anero was going for that sort of mad scientist sort of play. It was something that you don't see. It's unorthodox. I like it. It brings a bit of an excitement to the game.
All right, well, if you'd like to see some more in-depth analysis on these games, you can always subscribe to the new OPL podcast. Myself and Jake Spawn Tiberi will be going through the games, reviews and previews, as well as all the trash talk we can muster. You can find that on SoundCloud or wherever good podcasts are found. Anyway, that is enough from us here at the Analyst Desk. Let us get into Game 2 with your casters. It's Spawn and Fish.
Wherever good podcasts are found, Spawn.
Yeah, exactly. Wherever that is.
Somewhere.
I also want to point out that it must be Hingers doing the trash talking, because I would never trash talk anyone. I am a very innocent, cute man.
But you must be doing the analysis, though, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
I
Hingers
hope
is
so,
not
because he's
doing
definitely
that
not
one.
doing
No.
that. So, that's how we split it. He does all the trash talking, I do all the analysis. Everything I say, just hard facts.
Yeah, someone had a hilarious roast about Spooks, and it must have been Hingers, because, he did miss quite a few cues in his Lee Sin game last week.
That was facts.
That's facts. Okay, so that's not trash talk. All right. That makes things a little bit easier. But we are on to Summer's Rift here. Oh, not Summer's Rift. We're into... I can't do it. Hingers is still in the room, so it's not possible to talk right now.
But don't blame Hingers. We're into Champion Select. Malzahar, Camille, Renga, and LeBlanc have all been taken off the board.
Yeah, and Camille being banned on the blue side of Summoner's Rift here, Spawn. Tainted Minds don't have to ban that one away this time.
Yeah, and this is something that, Inero actually talked about a lot. You don't want to be trapped with a couple of OPs up. Swiper obviously very comfortable in a tank meta. Why would you even let it get to the point where you have to choose between Camille and something else? So just ban it away. Get as standard of team fighting comp as you possibly can if you are the Chiefs.
That's a good bans coming out from the Chiefs. Tainted Minds have one left. Kha'Zix was the final ban coming out from the Chiefs in the first ban phase. Rise will hit the bench as well. Does leave Zyra up and available.
Certainly does. We'll see whether that is something that they want to take away, or whether, Ejim is comfortable playing the Misfortune counter. Of course, may not have the option because they will have the last pick and first round of bans on the other side. So instead, he just snaps it up.
Yep, takes the Zyra down as soon as he possibly can. Ejim will be picking up that champion into Rosie this game, who picked up Tom Ketch in his last match. That gives Tainted Minds the ability to pick up Jace right away. We'll have to see if Chuchu is going to be flexing that one up, or Praedyth will be picking it up heading into the top lane this time round.
Yeah, I mean, Chus didn't have the best performance in the Jace, was able to get some good poke damage in, but fell down pretty heavily in CS against Super. Exact same comp.
They go for it again. Tainted Minds, they see the Jace left open. Ziggs is up, and they say, yes, please. Let's go, boys.
Yeah, exactly right. And when they're looking at it, they're just like, okay, without the heavy focus on the jungling champion pool yet, I expect them to take a better jungler this time around. And the fact that they did get themselves a mid-game advantage, maybe they're just looking to, be able to accumulate that a little bit more, not take the risky dragon fight, and just stick to their guns.
Oh, he was hovering it for a while, Spawn, but it seems like we're not going to get the Lee Sin Spooks today. Instead, Elise is going to be picked up instead. Can't miss your Q on that champion, so
Spooks
perfect.
is a good Lee Sin player. He had one rough game. He had a very good Lee Sin game, game one. Does he deserve to be roasted for his bad game? Yes, but he still can play the champion.
That one got you banned from his Twitch chat for quite some time. Recently reformed Spawn.
Yeah, laugh it up, mate. You're on your own now.
Super's going to be locking a cocky as well into the mid lane. We'll have to see what Tainted might start to respond with. And they're going to be the ones that pick up Lee Sin for shorter race. Spawn's just left me. I'm going to have to analyze this one too.
Yeah, so picking that up, I mean, a little bit more of the disengage if you want to use it that way. Some great flanking potential at the same time for shorter race. And, you know, pretty standard again from the Chiefs, although I would say very magic damage focus at the moment. I mean, Corki, Elise, as well as Azara, all very heavy in that magic damage compartment.
We'll have to see what they decide to round out their team comp. With Varus still left up on the table, we could see Raze pick up that champion again. We haven't seen a lot of Varus Zyra. Singe being banned up by Tainted Minds, so they don't want Swiper to pick up that champion this time round.
I honestly think you just take Ashe this time. I mean, we're talking about the Varus, but Ashe is a really good hard engage option. And it means, oh, well, not even going to have to pick that one because they just banned it away. It means that, you know, this poke comp, they can just hard engage onto it. Zyra can come in, lock people down, able to blow someone up. They do need initiation from somewhere. I think it'll be from their AD carry.
Well, Varus was the ban from Tainted Minds. They don't want Raze to pick that one up. They also ban out Nautilus from the Chiefs here. So the Chiefs ban out Nautilus, sorry.
And they're obviously very happy for Praedyth to be on the Poppy. I mean, they picked Maokai deliberately last time and left that one open for him.
Yep.
Taken the Nautilus away this time. Don't want to give them a very big hard engage option. Nautilus is also very good at kiting back.
As we do get the Tahm Kench again for Rosie.
This is a hard matchup. As far as difficult matchups go, Tahm Kench is real difficult to play into Zyra. I mean, he is very melee. I mean, if you ever get pushed in, you can kind of flash on the Zyra and try and eat her. But apart from that, apart from a cheeky level 2 or 3, it just isn't, you know, all of that great.
They'll be pairing up with Cakes Ziggs again in the bottom lane as Raze locks in Jhin.
Yeah, Jhin is definitely Raze's preferred AD carry, I think it's fair to say at the moment, along with Lost, who also picks up a lot of Jhin. You know, it's got a similar flavor to what Ashe does. They've got the ability to lock someone down in the roots and then be able to follow up with a great ultimate. Just isn't the immediate stun that Ashe would provide without a little bit of consistent damage.
Whoa, and we're gonna get the Swiper playing the tree up in the top lane, and Praedyth's picking up Fiora into that matchup.
Yeah, and I like it. I mean, this is a spanner that they've thrown. Now they're a 1-4 comp with great wave clear and the ability to disengage off turrets due to Lee Sin as well as the Tahm Kench. And they've got Praedyth in a winning matchup, so maybe he goes toe-to-toe with Swiper and they see if they can push that advantage.
Yes, we talked to Inera earlier before we went on to Summoner's Rifts about the double tanks they picked up into this team comp, helping out with the engage and the poke they have this time round. Seems like they're going all in here, Spawn, for the split push.
Yeah, it certainly looks to be that case. I mean, what you still can do is take Rosie and Cake into Praedyth's lane if Swipe is a little bit low and knock down the turret nice and quickly. That relies on Choo-Choos and Shorter Race being able to defend, but like, we'll just see how decisive they can play because they had the right calls at the start of that game. It really was one fumble around the Dragon Pit that cost them everything. So I didn't necessarily think Tainted Minds had a bad comp, and think that this time around 1-4 is completely fine as well.
Yeah, really excited to see how Praedyth's going to be able to use the Fiora up in the top lane against
Sorry,
Swipers.
what was his name?
Praedyth.
Praedyth.
Yeah, I
no,
can't
we're
do
good.
it. All right, use it.
No, you can do it. Everyone just saw you right then, dude.
Into the Maokai in the top lane that's being played by Swiper again, heading into game 2, who does very well into team comps like this that have lots of AoE magic damage.
Yeah, this is kind of what you know, the Maokai is designed to do, be able to clap their hands and jump into the middle of the team. It's nothing new for the Chiefs. They're still just a team fighting comp with a lot of damage. And we'll see whether they're able to continue what was good team fighting form from last game.
And Tainted Minds mentioned that the team comp they drafted with the Jace and Ziggs was, you know, heavily because Inero studied what the Chiefs were going to ban out, knew they would get Jace first and Ziggs later on. This time around they're going for it again. We expected them to change things up in games 2.
Yeah, we certainly did. I mean, if they've been practicing this all week and they are incredibly confident in it, as we do jump onto Summoner's Rift for game 2 between Chiefs and Tainted Minds, there's no reason to change the strategy. They obviously want to play a little bit more of a macro game.
Well, let's see if they're going to be able to do just that. And as you mentioned, we are on Summoner's Rift, but as we get onto the Rift, let's check in with Hingers, who's with one of the coaches.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Volt, and I want to start by asking you about the Camille ban, because on blue side, you've banned it second. Why not save it for that third ban, or even leave it open for Swiper to play?
Leaving the Camille ban for the third ban is really risky, because if like it gives us like some adaptation in our lost bans. Like our third ban can be used on something that we need to target ban if they don't ban the OPs, like the LeBlanc Ringer. And also leaving Camille up is also kind of risky for us because we lost a lot of scrim sets in the week from teams cancelling on us, so we didn't get to practice Camille as much as we'd like. So it was a little bit problematic to leave Camille up.
All right, well, across the Rift, you're going to be coming up against Zig's ADC now for the second game in a row. Have you guys practiced much against this? Are you pretty familiar with it?
We've had a little bit of practice against Ziggs. A lot of teams like started practicing it this week, like Tainted Minds did apparently. But we've also had a lot of practice playing it and playing against it, so we know how to beat it, and we showed that in the first game.
And finally, the Fiora pick in top lane. How do you think that matchup's going to affect Swiper?
I think Brandon's very good at. Sorry, Swiper is very good at dealing with the carry top laners, especially like Fiora, because we've had so much practice against it. And it's been a very like anti-tank pick that a lot of teams have tried. So I think we'll be okay with dealing with that.
Excellent. Well, best of luck in the game, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
And you have it from Volt there. You know, haven't had too much practice on that Camille. Not too comfortable first picking it for Swiper. It's a very cheeky start here for Swiffer. Picks up 4 of those chickens to start things off. Hits level 2 nice and early against Choo-Choos.
Yeah, it doesn't really give him anything though, as he takes as much return damage from the creeps as he dished out with that Gatling gun. So we'll see if he's able to push the experience lead at any other stage during the game. When you have a look at it, if you've got a player that excels in a tank meta, you definitely don't want to be first picking carries for him. And that's not to say that Swiper can't play carries. When it's a carry versus carry meta, he's more than happy to jump on things like the Rumble, you know, like Lissandra in the past. Had a good rise at some points as well as, you know, the historic Tryndamere and Aurelia pickups that he's always been comfortable with. But right now, when tanks are king, like, just get him in his wheelhouse and be able to set up all the good team fights that you're looking for. Because that is definitely where the Chiefs have done very well in the past.
We'll check in with the top lane later on in the match. For now, though, Short Race looking to take down Scuttlecrab, spots out Spooks with a ward.
Oh, did he get it?
No! Who's going to get it? Spooks throws it out. He can't
and
miss
now
that
he's in
cue.
trouble.
He's going to get some good damage down to Shorter Ace. Jumps on him as the Spider. Shorter Ace forced to jump away with his safeguard. Wall was put down as well. Spooks still chasing on forward. Doesn't have the final cocoon there, but still knocks Shorter Ace out of the jungle.
Yeah, knocks him very low as well. Shorter Ace got a smite charge available, so we'll just be able to go to the other side of his forest and start farming. However, that's a good early and aggressive start out of Spooks because Swiffer was pushed up, was able to go as aggressive as he wanted.
Meanwhile, we check in with the bottom lane. Raze and Ijin pushing out this lane quite nicely against Cake and Rosie. Rosie getting locked down here. Going to take quite a bit of damage from those plants as well. And good trade for the Chiefs.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, they're able to knock some health off the TK. That's always nice early. Is now Swiffer in some trouble.
Shorter Race going to throw out the Q. Connects, decides not to follow up. Choo-Choo's is incredibly low on mana, and Elise is waiting in the wings. Lots of pings going out towards her.
Yeah, exactly right. And, you know, they still had the exhaust available from Swiffer because they ran through the Valkyrie. They actually took quite a lot of damage. I mean, Valk level 1 at earlier stage does quite substantial amount of AP damage. You don't really want to run down the red carpet, as tempting as it may be, Fish.
As on the top side of the map, Swiper doing pretty well up here. Fiora is down to 1 corrupting potion charge. Swiper does have 1 potion left remaining as well.
Well, the thing about this part of the laning phase is the AoE abilities mean that you can just make Fiora lane against a creep wave. Only really comes when she has lots of items that she's able to jump on you. That point of the game will most likely hit, and then Swiper will have to give a little bit more respect. But at this stage, he's more than comfortable just pushing up, being a nuisance.
Good riposte from Praetor there, was able to jump in, get some good damage on Swiper, but still just pushing this Fiora in constantly. Bottom lane, Cake and Rosie are now pushing back towards Raze and Ijim. Ijim a little bit low on mana on this Syra.
And you can see that Rosie's back to full health, and Cake's actually winning out pretty substantially in CS. So getting rid of the Varus seems to have done the trick here for the duo lane.
Keep track, see if they can keep up. Ijim taking quite a bit of poke damage from the Tainted Ziggs.
Was also holding that wave, so always going to be a little bit lower. We'll be chugging some pots to get back up. He'll be completely fine as the laning phase progresses. That's the worst feeling.
He's got no jungle to farm. 10 CS to 31. Now Shorter Ace just left wandering around the rift, hoping that something has been left open by Spooks. Does not seem to be the case.
And with that, actually might look for an invade if you check out where he's on the map, taking away a Scuttle Crab.
or trying to. Didn't happen last time. He will be spotted out by the scrying plants, and a pink wall gets spotted as well, which Shorter Ace just put down. Meanwhile, in the top lane, there's been a little bit of a scuffle, and the trees come out on top. Ultimate was used by Fiora. Swiper is A-OK.
And Swiper's always just been a rock for the Chiefs. I mean, he's definitely not the flashiest player on the lineup, but very rarely falls down too hard in the laning phases. Now Spooks maybe in some trouble.
There goes Shorter Ace. Good repel coming out from the release. Swiffer, though, taking quite a bit of damage from that Jace. Going to try and return fire now as he's run out of mana. Rosie collapsed in amongst Spooks as well. They wanted to defend the control ward. Successfully does so. Shorter Ace looking for Swiffer. Gets him. Gets the Thunderlord's proc as well. One more auto attack is going to be enough. Choo Choo splashes forward, but he can't get that final auto down.
And Swiffer waited so long to burn Summoner's spells on that exchange. Maybe could have flashed at the start to mean that he kept his exhaust. Maybe could have exhausted before the Lee Sin combo came down to make sure he preserved the flash. But, you know, he just held them both and in the end gets made pay for it. Spooks, however, is behind Choo Choo's now.
And he's already used his flash. The cleanse not required because the minion blocks the cocoon. That means Spooks is not going to be able to take him down.
And if you've used your flash as a Jace and they fire a max range cocoon, you can just waltz out. Spooks really should have repelled on him then and, you know, made him burn the other summoner spell. Instead, now they just want to be able to shove this one into the turret.
Shorter Ace jumps back into the lane. Actually going to get locked down. He's going to take so much damage. Forced to flash away. Questionable decisions coming out from Tainted Mind's mid laner and jungler.
Questionable decisions out of everyone at the moment, to be honest. I mean, they're sticking around on the lowest of margins trying to make this work. And now Spooks wants to turret dive, it looks like, potentially. I have no idea what is going on.
Choo Choo's going to play a little bit of air guitar here, but will eventually go back to base. Decides not to, sticks around because Razor showed up with Egypt. They're looking to try and take this down.
What are you actually doing? I mean, he's not... Oh.
They're going on forward. That was a flash forward.
Oh, he's in trouble now. What goes up must come down.
Spooks does eventually come down, blocked by the spider though. Tongue Lash does not connect. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Swiper flashes the fat part of the wall because Praedith is able to hunt him down.
To quote an old friend of the show, Yamato Cannon, this has turned into a little bit of a clown fiesta. Honestly, willy-nilly use of summoner spells everywhere. Aegon flash forward to try and root someone that had a Tahm Kench standing next to them. That generally doesn't work. At the same time, Swiper just had to flash the fat part of the wall to get rid of you know, a very annoying Praedith at this stage of the game.
It's been a disaster spawn and nothing's actually happened.
Absolute disaster and no one's dead.
Interesting game 2. After a shocker of a game 1 on both sides, it's been a unique start, to say the least.
Yeah, it certainly has. I mean, when we were looking at this, big CS lead in the mid lane, I guess it's fair to say now for Swiffer. He's up 20 at only the 9-minute mark.
Even bottom and top. Shorter Ace is caught up pretty well on Lee Sin. He's down by 20, but those jungle camps do fluctuate quite heavily.
Yeah, it depends whoever gets access to the Krogs. And the, oh, that's a little bit of damage. Gets access to Krogs, gets access to the Raptor camp. So, you know, as you start picking those up, you do accelerate the CS margins quite heavily.
Package was available for Swiffer, but it seems like he's just using it in the mid lane to continue chipping away at that mid lane outer turret.
And I think he just wants to keep the screws up right now onto Choo Choo's because, you know, he feels like he's having a pretty good laning phase so far. He's up in CS, wants to continue the pressure as much as he can.
That's a good bounce. That's how it's going to take quite a bit of damage. Swiffer forced to Valk away. Shorter Race is waiting in the wings in case Choo Choo's gets into trouble, but so is Spooks. As in the top lane, Fiora now doing a pretty decent job against Swiper. He's got his ninja tabbies, but still, Fiora is going to be a force to be reckoned with as Maokai. Spooks taking a full shockwave acceleration gate combo to the face. So now they're going aggressive here. He's going to get locked down, forced to use the cleanse. Short Race goes over the wall, kicks Spooks into Egypt. Tahm Kench is now joining the fight. Rosie is up here, desperately trying to defend these turrets.
Yeah, unfortunately missed the Q there, however, Shorter Race, so wasn't able to follow up with any damage. In saying that, Cake still has his ultimate available if they want to use it. Rosie gets snared up.
Lockdown as well. Here comes the curtain call. Gets one, gets the second. Good repel. Avoids the damage coming out from Cake. Choo Choo's narrowly sidesteps the ultimate coming out from Raze as well. But this should be the first turret falling for the Chiefs. He's trying to defend it, but just can't quite.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, he can't.
Gets him. Swift is going to go in. Short Race has to go back, but it's so low health on the side of the Chiefs. But Tainted Minds just can't quite kill them.
What is going on right now? I mean, Swiffer again survives with absolutely no health. It was Ejim that burned the exhaust, not even Swiffer. Cake had 2 members at his fingertips ready to die, but wasn't able to whittle them down. Instead, it's only been 1 kill onto Rosie, and the rest of the game has just been, honestly, on a knife's edge and balancing perfectly.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, nothing much happening. Go back to the mid lane where all the clappiness is going on.
I mean, honestly, right now, Swiffer's huge. He's just taken solo turret gold for himself. He's got a Trinity Force, 160 S in only 11 minutes. He's 30 up on Choo Choo's. He is an absolute monster at this stage of the game.
As Choo Choo's sitting on a Hex Drinker and double longswords. Not quite what you want to go up against a Trinity Force Corki.
And Hexdrinker stops so much of the early damage out of Corki because he is such a spell-based AD carry. But as the game progresses, I mean, he's going to just start pumping out damage with the autos as well. Now, Shorter Ace looking top side.
Yep, ultimate's being popped there by Fiora. Does get the Q down max range. Swiper tries to get behind him and does successfully do so.
Without burning a flash as well. Shorter Ace had his available. Definitely had a flash kick on the cards. Didn't want to burn it. And that will open up potentially Dragon for the Chiefs.
Yep. Spirit's going to start this one up. Ejim and Raze have got control over the bottom lane. Push that one out quite nicely.
And this can be a really frustrating game to be a part of if you are Tainted Minds. I mean, Swiper was dead to rights, gets kicked away just because he, like, seconds just gets behind. I mean, mid lane, they've had so many opportunities to kill Swiffer, and he's lived on the skin, by the skin of his teeth multiple times. Now he's got a huge advantage. I mean, this is one of those games that you really have to stay dialed in if you are the Tainted Mind squad, because otherwise, you know, emotional play is definitely a real thing. They go in on Swiffer.
Choo Choo's going to jump straight on top of him, though. Shorter Ace is close by. Spooks is here too. Lands the Q, gets some good damage down, but he flashes away. Choo Choo's on top of him, gets the return kill. And they're not even going to lose anyone on the side of Tainted Minds.
Exactly right. They're willing to burn their summoner spells to get onto Swiffer, whereas I guess Spooks wasn't willing to get in front and body block that last shot. Good back and forth right now. I mean, Choose comes out the victor on that occasion. The Shorter Ace was there a little bit earlier. As I said, this game, by no stretch of the imagination, over yet, but just looking more and more dangerous.
Chiefs do have the first turret. That's a lot of damage. Chiefs do have the first turret, and they're about 2,000 gold up ahead of Tainted Minds. Spooks was looking to see if he can go for a dive. There's the replay of that last fight, though.
Yeah, so he exhausts very early Swiffer when none of the damage is coming out of the Jace, and you see that Choo Choo's just willing to flash forward. Spooks probably could have picked up a return kill, although the cleanse was still there if he had a flashed after Choose, but in saying that, decides to save the summoner spell.
They're going toe-to-toe in this top lane. Swiper gives him the clap and tries to take him on, but that's going to be all the vitals getting popped if Praedyth can take that last one. It just gives him a little bit of a heal, though, and Swiper says, all right, let's go back to it.
However, on the way to top lane is a packaged up Corki, so Praedyth needs to be careful here. They're pinging it out.
Swiffer will be spotted out by this wall, but he doesn't care all that much. Just wants to stay up here for the zoning potential. Spooks is here as well. That signals Tainted Minds to send as many people possible to the top lane too. You can see Tahm Kench in the jungle too, trying to deliver Choo Choo's if he has to. That does leave Cake alone in the bottom lane to farm by himself. Should be fairly okay with that. He is Ziggs after all.
Certainly is. I mean, he's just happy to sit down there and eat as much of the farm as he possibly can at this stage of the game. Everyone kind of getting towards their first major items. However, Tainted Minds have done a good job of, you know, keeping this game under control and in check. Looks like the Chiefs, after a couple of narrow misses, were finally going to rip this one open, but is not to be as of yet.
Blue buff gets donated over towards Choo Choo's. Cake looked like he wanted that one for a bit, but it will be the Jace that picks it up. Swift is going to be in a little bit of trouble here if Short Race can get right behind him. Good shock blast combo. Here comes Elise in, lands the Q, nails him, and slams the hammer down. Swiffer's dead again.
Yeah, this is a really good camp actually coming out of shorter race now because they've taken down the mid lane turret and Swiffer's trying to extend pressure up the lane. And all it means is he's leaving himself open against, had burned the summoner spells last time around. Now you can see potentially TK as well as Cake rotating into that mid lane, looking to take it down.
That turret's already so low. A satchel charge is enough to take it down. Cake should just waltz on over here. Throw it down, buddy. Get that turret for yourself. Tainted Minds now have the turret lead.
Yeah, back to equal footing. They're equal on turrets as well. One apiece. That's all right. Can happen to the best of us, Fish. So yeah, this game, as I said, it looked like it was going to be busted open. Is dead even at this stage. Play on the bottom lane.
Cake gets eaten up by Rosie. Looks like they want to get the
ult
jump.
here out of Raze.
Possibly. That's a lot of damage. Good bouncing bomb coming out from the Ziggs.
Really surprised he didn't pull the trigger on that. That's generally a move that Raze is willing to go for. You can see Spooks picked up the Moby boots. Feels like he needs to be a little bit more active around the map at this stage of the game.
They've got lots of members of the Chiefs moving down towards the bottom side of the map. Shorter Ace is in the top lane. Choo Choo's looks like he wants to move up here too. Chiefs got to be very careful. So Tainted Minds on the bottom side of the map. Now they're collapsing on towards Swiper. See if he can escape this one. Dead. Okay. You're just getting behind him, Spawn.
They certainly are. This is the pincer move. They have so many members available. You can see that Cake actually wants to go back and defend his bottom side of the map. I think that they are quicker if they want to race.
Let's see how
clap.
Let's see how he deals with this one. Pops the ultimate and getting a lot of damage. Rosie's here though. That's a dead tree. Gets cut down nice and easy. Simply eaten up by Rosie as well to keep the Fiora alive. That should be a turret for Tainted Minds. Chiefs, meanwhile, pushing the mid lane and bottom lane. Mega Inferno Bomb will come out. They try and take up as much of this as possible. They trade a turret from the bottom lane and top lane. How much more are they going to lose? They're still pushing towards the mid lane now.
Yeah, so they lost a little bit of priority in that push because of how long it took to set up. See whether they can get any CC onto Cake as he walks past. Instead, maybe it's just going to be another turret falling down.
Seems to be the case. That turret is going to fall. Chiefs take it down. Tainted Minds not fast enough to react to that one after taking down Swiper in the top lane.
So about a 600, 700 gold swing for the Chiefs there. I mean, they get 2 turrets for a turret and a kill, as well as, you know, 2 lanes of farm, which really were left just crashing into turrets. In saying that, if they can get Praetor ahead of Swiper, it will be worth it, because allowing the Fiora to play to a longer side of the map, really set up that 4-1. They're not concerned if the map gets bigger. In fact, when you play 4-1, that's what you want. So, nicely done from Tainted Minds, playing towards the top side of the map. But the Chiefs certainly had an answer prepared.
Dragon's going to be up in 3 seconds here. Tainted Minds having pushed back, but did get their buys in early to make sure they're here for this objective. Spooks takes a shock blast to the face and loses quite a bit of his health, but should be okay. It's an Infernal Dragon this time round, something that's definitely worth fighting over.
And now the big question is, how do you fight? Because Spooks has just taken 2 big shock blasts and isn't all that tanky at this stage of the game. However, we've already seen what happens when you take a team fight against the traditional AD carriers, Ziggs, and you're not able to get rid of one of the members first. So if Swiper can get in, if Spooks gets a little bit of health back, you would expect the Chiefs to win this one. However, Tainted Minds definitely looking to be aggressive.
This is still in the top lane. Split pushing against Swiper. Both of them have teleport available if they need to use it. Swiffer hiding inside of a brush. Spooks looking like he wants to try and bait out Tainted Minds here.
Have package available on Swiffer as well as exhaust.
Go. Decides not to. There's a teleport coming in from the back line, so Tainted Minds going to be very careful. That's a Maokai. Right behind him. Going to be locking down Rosie. He gets stunned up again, the target before these fights. Egypt though taking a lot of damage in return. Rosie wants him, forced to flash away. Shorter Ace now on top of Raze, but he's the one taking a lot of damage here. Cake throws out the Mega Inferno Ball, whiffs as no one gets taken down. The jungler's going to be dead. Cake's the other one gets jumped on. Swiffer is on top of Choo Choo's. And the Chiefs, they pull up the team fight again. Tainted Minds have found themselves in the exact same position as last game.
And it's just because they're jockeying for position around Dragon one more time, and the Chiefs are able to out-team fight. I mean, Shorter Ace went for the hero play with the flash, but couldn't pick it up. Praetor stayed at home, the correct call, and it probably going to be able to pick up a turret, but that should have just been a turret for a Dragon trade.
My goodness, Tainted Minds again over the second dragon. Praedyth will be able to take down the top lane inner turret. So at least a consolation prize for Tainted Minds. And they are still only 1,000 gold behind here.
So let's take another look at it. I mean, really nice flank out there. They lay the CC a little bit too much for my liking. However, Rosie going forward eventually will die down. Shorter Race here actually goes for a pretty cute play. He flashes and Qs at the same time and tries to kick Raze into the Mega Inferno Bomb. Would have killed him, definitely, but wasn't able to get it off in just the nick of time. And unfortunately, that means that another member in Cake did fall down as he was setting up for that one. Yeah. But I like the idea. The execution a little bit wanting. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Mega Inferno Bomb, not in the right position either there.
No, because he was going to be kicked into it.
Not clipping Egypt or Raze.
You're such a hater. Hater's going to hate, Cake. Hater's going to hate.
And speaking of Cake, he's got the components for his Luden's Echo. They've sent Praedyth down to the bottom lane. See if he can take down the bottom lane outer turret for his team.
And this makes sense. I mean, Praedyth's 30, 40 CS up, should have free roam in the map. He's on 2 items at the moment. Can, you know, take a little bit of damage and then just sit there and get it back from the next creep wave. And you can see that actually Swiper just can't do any damage to him. Generally, you focus the creep wave.
You've taken quite a bit there. It takes a turret shot for it too, but Swiper's not going to continue chasing. There are a lot of members of Tainted Minds close by.
Doesn't surprise me, but Baron's up. It's 22 minutes in, so you can't send 5 members bottom lane.
They've started Baron. So Praedyth's going to try and kill Swiper while the rest of the Chiefs take Baron. Gives him the clap, but doesn't do anything.
And actually, they back away. They use the Mega Inferno Bomb on it.
They're going to fight. Shorter Ace, first one to die. Raze pops him with the ultimate. Rosie now trying to run away, but gets the double kill with that 4th bullet, making full use of Jin's kit there.
And at the same time, I mean, Praedyth is now on the run.
Go back. What's going on?
They're not able to take Baron at the moment, Fish, unfortunately. They have no tanks, and Praedyth just ran away.
Yeah, Praedyth couldn't fight Maokai, didn't take the turret either, and Raze has got a double kill.
Disaster everywhere. If you're a Tainted Mind fan.
Oh, no.
Glee, if you are the Chiefs right now, who seem to one more time be able to turn it on in the mid-game.
Cake and Choo-Choo's moved to the top lane, but now they're getting dive. Cake, the first target, he's gone. Raze gets another kill. Big bounce coming out from the Jin. They will be able to take down the top lane inner turret as well. Now, furthering their gold lead to 4,500 ahead of Tainted Minds. And Swiper's split pushing against Praedyth and winning.
Well, Praedyth was diving a turret to try and take him down, and you can understand that, you know, if you don't get the Maokai at the first, he does get a little bit of health back. Praedyth's still in a pretty healthy position as this lane is being re-pushed out. And without a real tank on the side of the Chiefs, I mean, they can't threaten the Baron. Elise isn't going to be able to tank it up at this stage until they get enough damage to really just burst through it uncontested. Or Maokai joins. It's going to be tough.
Yep.
Glad you agree. It's been the longest short day ever.
Well, Chiefs are now looking to try and get the wraparound onto this Fiora. Praedyth's got a long way to go if he wants to get out of this one. Let's see what he tries to do. Cocoon comes out, good parry comes out. Stun into Spooks, looking for the fight, but the repel comes up, and the Corky just rat-a-tat-tats all over the Fiora, able to take her down.
Yeah, it certainly does. Able to pick up another kill there. So Spooks and Swift are the best friends club, able to get down into the bottom lane. And Spooks has had a complete bounce-back series. I mean, 6 out of 8 kills again that he's been a part of. Been pretty instrumental around Summoner's Rift. Raze has had a really good series as well today on the Varus as well as the Jin now.
Yep.
And, ooh, looking to stun up. If only there had been a little bit of damage onto Cake.
Good damage going down onto these turrets here.
Ooh.
Choo-Choo's going to get locked down by Ejim.
Surprised one more time that wasn't an open up out of Raze. He's held his ultimates maybe a little bit more disciplined than we're used to seeing out of the young man. He does like to open up fairly often. Potentially doesn't want to take a Mega Inferno Bomb to the head. That could be it.
Potentially.
Spooks fixing his hair on the camera. Of course, it is very important to look good while you're playing League of Legends.
For Spooks?
No, for everyone.
Not wearing...
come on, mate. I've seen how you scrub up before the show.
He's not wearing his singlet today. So Rosie's going to have to eat up Choo-Choo's here, taking quite a bit of damage from the ultimate of Raze. It does keep Choo-Choo's alive.
And they are grouped as 5 now, and Praedyth still in the bottom lane swift pushing. We'll see whether that does mean that they start up the Baron.
And they do. Teleport is available for the Fiora. So is Mega Inferno Bomb. Turret's going to fall in the bottom lane. Now, can they stop this Baron? There's the Mega Inferno Bomb coming out as well as the shock blast. Short Race goes in. He's stolen the Baron. Takes it away from the Chiefs. And Fiora is still split pushing.
Yeah, all of a sudden, I mean, that's worth. That's what they wanted the whole time. The Baron, they're still within 3,000 gold. And Praether's just on the bottom lane, continuing to chip down turrets. Now with the Baron buff, that task gets even easier.
Yep, this gold lead is going to be absolutely destroyed by Tainted Minds. Now going to go back to 44,000, I believe, once this falls. Only 2k behind the Chiefs. With a Baron buff to use for the next few minutes.
That's rough. I mean, when you have a look at it, they're pretty much even everywhere, maybe 1,000 behind in every lane, but Praetor's got a big advantage for himself. Yeah, the Chiefs they blinked for 1 second and Shorter Race came in and took it away.
Consolation prize is they should be able to take down this Infernal Dragon. So we'll get that, so 2 Infernal Dragons for the Chiefs here. As Choo-Choo just continues to push up the mid lane. The rest of Tainted Minds, they're going to be able to group up. They do take turrets very quickly and even faster now they have this Baron buff.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, all of a sudden the game's getting back to pretty close. Choo-Choo has to dodge out of Raze, who is doing some pretty good damage at 2.5 items. But you just feel like that's one of those times that the Chiefs have made the mistake that can potentially swing this game on its head, because when you're playing with a superior split pusher already, and when he's in complete control and the rest of your unit can take dragon, can take turrets, kind of closes your win conditions for a couple of minutes. Although that won't.
They've locked down Choo-Choo. He's going to take a lot of damage. Swiper tries to go in, but Rosie eats him up. Shorter Race taking out most of the bullets, but Cake's going to take one to the face. The rest of the Chiefs want to continue going.
Still in the bottom top lane split pushing, so they need to make sure they don't stick around too long for this one.
They continue charging on back. If they leave Cake alone as well, that turret is going to be obliterated. Choo-Choo still fairly low. Has to be very, very careful here. Swiper threatening with the engage on this Maokai. Defending very well against these Baroned up minions. Swiffer fancies his chance against Praedith.
You can respect why. 250 CS, 225 certainly is a little bit of a force to be reckoned with himself, especially when Praedith hasn't built up any armor as of yet. Has been playing majority of the game against Swiper, so magic resist should be suffice there.
They are going to continue sending Furor to the top side of the map. Cake sitting in the mid lane, but there is an Elise very deep into the Tainted Minds jungle. He's going to go back to base. Choo-Choo continues to split push in the bottom lane, has the Baron buff to help him out, but all the other turrets are gone. Only the inhibitor turrets left for Tainted Minds to take, and they're not grouped up for this push. Big minion wave though.
And this has just meant that the Chiefs, I mean, they've had to stay on Summoner's Rift for a little bit longer. They still look like they have a better team fighting comp, but all of a sudden Tainted Minds have been able to execute where they want to be able to.
They've got Cake down in this lane. This turret is going to get taken out really quickly. Let's see if they can break it before the rest of the Chiefs get here. Incredibly low. Cake though, so much damage. The Conical comes out. Swiffer gets the snipe. Now Rosie's the one that's in trouble. Big damage coming out for Raze. Egypt picks up the kill. And although it looked like they got that turret down, Tainted Minds lose their bottom lane.
Yeah, that was just an overcommit. I mean, there was so much damage, and as soon as Rosie had eaten one of his teammates, the other was just left behind. And as the old adage goes, you don't need to be the quickest man on the team. As Swiffer got jumped on, but now turning it around.
Choo-Choo's going to be in a lot of trouble here. Spooks trying to chase on forward. Repel, not quite.
However, they've got 2 members now coming around the corner, ready to cut them off. One of them is Ejim.
They found Shorter Race. He's going to get locked down. He's going to try and get the heck out of there. Ward jumps to the control ward. Choo-Choo's here too, taking on Raze, but he gets quick shot to the face. The revolver spins around for him. And they're going to be able to take down 2 more members of Tainted Minds.
And they kind of delayed the death timers, so that means there's 40 seconds now when there's only the bottom lane of Tainted Minds left available. Still pushing into Cake is a little bit foley, although with that, will stun him up, and now he's half health.
Yeah, Cake has to be very careful. Praether was able to take down Swiper very low. Now he's being jumped on by Swiffer. Looking to get that little bit of extra damage down. One more rocket is going to be enough, but has no way to catch up to this guy. To successfully defend against the Fiora, but it stops their push in the bottom lane.
Yeah, it certainly does. So all of a sudden, you know, just kills for the Chiefs. And at 30 minutes into the game, gold is starting to become, you know, not irrelevant, but it really is coming down to how they are playing the game. I mean, you can see right now that Swift a huge advantage, but same it can be said for Praedyth in the top lane. So it's just about, you know, whether the split push is going to breach first or whether a catch will finally come through to the Chiefs. It's meaningful enough that they can take one of those inhibitors or potentially a Baron and not fumble the play the next time around.
Chiefs are back to where they were before the Baron steal, about 5,000 gold up or close to it.
I'm actually really surprised that Swiper just hasn't got his drop portal and just sat it down at the turret and never let it hit the turret.
He's got his Storm Mail though.
Doesn't really do much versus true damage.
Tainted Mind's trying to clear out wards.
Rosie about to face check potentially.
Spooks looks for the cocoon, doesn't connect. They still have Fiora split pushing the bottom lane. Cake has to play defense. Mega Inferno Bomb goes out with the bouncing grenades, but Chiefs don't care. That turret's taking a beating, and that turret's going to fall.
Certainly is. I mean, they just walk straight past it, and now they're not giving the Fiora any time of day to be able to split push the bottom lane.
Yep, Curtain Call comes out, just keeps Tainted Minds at bay. Forces the Chiefs to head back to base and try and recall to defend this turret. Let's see if Praedyth can do what he does best and take it down before they get there. Should be able to get the turret, but the inhibitor should stay.
Yeah, exactly right. So in the bottom lane, he's going to leave a ward just in case they leave a teleport play up. Although now staying a little bit longer than he probably otherwise should.
So turret and inhibitor traded for a turret. Tainted Minds still scrambling to try and defend against the Chiefs squad. Rapid Fire Cannon has been picked up by Swiffer with the Infinity Edge. Has his Sork Boot still with the Hex Drinker. Hex Drinker picked up by Raze as well. And he steal it. Praedyth wants this. Slides in, can't get it.
Yeah, and all of a sudden now he's overextended in big trouble.
Spooks is going to try and lock him down. Good riposte comes out, but he can't hit the explosive plant. Does eventually go over the wall, but Big Tree Swips is there. Praedyth's going to get taken down.
Yeah, eventually he will fall down, but the Baron has been opened up right now for Tainted Minds. Teleport coming in deep, and Rosie, Ejim is there.
Big ultimate coming out from Egypt's going to stop Tainted Minds from taking this one. Locket's being popped, and here comes Big Swips. Going to put up the clap, locks them all down. Rosie's going to be the first target to fall here as the rest of the Chiefs squad barrel on through, looking to lock down member after member. The Krugs are going to take the brunt of the anger from Tainted Minds, but they've lost their top laner in support.
Yeah, they certainly have, and all of a sudden Swiffer looking to clean up even more kills.
There's Raze flashing in, spins around and around, gets the kill. Shorter Ace fights the super minions, but the boxing gloves come out and pick up a kill. Ace for the Chiefs, and Tainted Minds are going to fall 2-0.
They certainly are. The Chiefs are on the Nexus turrets. One of them will fall down. They'll get onto the second, and the Chiefs finally get their first 2-0 victory of the first split of 2017.
And they're going to be able to pick up all 3 points. Most people thought it was going to be a 2-1 in whatever direction, but the Chiefs very confident going into the Ziggs bot lane team comp of Tainted Minds. They pick up the win. They get all 3 points, despite some hiccups along the way.
Yeah, exactly right. And they should be happy with themselves. I mean, Tainted Minds are a great outfit. They've obviously practiced that composition, and we're pretty confident running it. A little bit of a hiccup when they lose that Baron, but just calm, concise play, looking for their moment to be able to team fight again. And even though that one stretched on for a little bit longer, as soon as the Chiefs got their window, they were able to capitalize and win the game.
They certainly were. You can see, fairly happy with that one. Tainted Minds, they had a plan coming into this game against the Chiefs. It just didn't quite work out for them. They brought Jason to the mid lane for Choo-Choo's 2 games in a row. Cake was on the Ziggs. We had 1 game with Engage, 1 game with Split Push. Both times just didn't quite work out for them.
Yeah, you have to say the one with Split Push looked a heck of a lot better, however. Praedyth very comfortable on that Fiora. Nearly was able to pull one out of the bag for his team, as he has done in the past. But as I said, the Chiefs are just too disciplined, too well drilled. When you challenge them with an oddball comp, they are just willing to sit back and play reserved and then strike when they have their moment.
Well, that was the last game of today and last game of the week as well. But let's send it back to the analyst desk to break that one down.
Thank you, Fish. Thank you, Spawn. Well, gentlemen, that is Match 2 done and dusted. The Chiefs 2-0 over Tainted Mind. Juves, I mean, there were a couple of hiccups. Name the hiccups. Let's start from that.
Guess the one big hiccup and the hiccup of the week really is Baron buff. Baron, not Baron buff.
Yeah.
Doing the Baron. I think Baron is like a kryptonite to every team. Is like they risk doing the Baron when it's unnecessary, and sometimes it can bite you.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. And like you said, it seems to be sort of the story of the week with that Baron buff is what's really been the kryptonite for teams at the moment. And what I want to take into account when we talk about that Baron buff is how big it was in that initial situation. And we'll be looking at a replay at it later, but it just allowed Praetor to sort of take control of the map.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the draft as we bring up in picks and bans on your screen. And first of all, that Fiora pick, kind of late in the game, and almost paid off, right?
Yeah, the Fiora. So it's no secret that Fiora just shreds tanks. So if you can get Fiora to 2 items, there's no tank or no champ in the game really that can stop her in a 1v1. So once Chiefs gave away that Baron buff, that was an immediate win condition for Tainted Minds.
Yeah, and Mendrix, we also... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and what I like to say about that as well, Praetor, he is actually a fantastic Fiora player. We've seen him play it in the OCS. It was a really strong pick just going straight into the Maokai, because Maokai's like, well, I've got damage reduction. That's pretty good. And Fiora's like, well, I've got true damage. So when he's able to proc those vitals, it does so much, and Praetor is the man to give the Fiora to.
Now, Mendrix, we've seen AD Ziggs now twice from 2 games from Tainted Minds. And, I mean, it didn't work out this time around, but the second game was certainly much stronger than the first game, right?
And what I like about that specifically is because there was more damage threats on the side of the Tainted Minds. They were able to have a threat with with Fiora. They had a bit of a threat with the Lee Sin as well, and they had the Tahm Kench still to keep that protection for him. So it was still sort of the same team composition, but you add a little bit of extra damage and it means it gets a bit stronger into it. And it is a solid 4-man team when it comes to them actually doing that split push. It allows Fiora to split push. You got the Ziggs to hold everyone back. You've got the Tahm Kench to save anyone who's in trouble, and you've got the Lee Sin to sort of peel and allow them to kite back.
All right, well, let's take a look at a replay, shall we? This team fight in the blue side bot jungle. Mendrix, why don't you talk us through what's about to happen?
Yeah, so as you can see here, this is Chiefs just showing their amazing ability to out-rotate the rest of the team. They have some fancy play on the side as well because they managed to avoid some of the bombs coming through. Look at Shorter Ace. He jumps straight onto Raze there, but Raze is able to deal a lot of damage and he's unable to get the kill. So it was just target priority, Tainted Minds not executing too well, and Chiefs just being there first.
Now, Juves, if you're in that situation, you Tainted Minds, what should you have done? Just back off real quick?
You should have cleared the TP wards, because I'm pretty sure Swiper TP'd in behind. And if you can't do that, I think you just got to, as a team, you've got to kite in one direction. And that was a little bit scattered from them. They all kind of split off and they all just like pretty much panicked. But like the best thing to do in a situation like that is just be a unit and be a team and just like try and kite back.
Yeah, and then split, you know, when you're done kiting, when you need to get away, when you need to escape, that's when you split.
Yeah, and what I want to mention about that is they should have been just trying to buy time for Praetor. That's the big thing. Now, that's 4-man team composition, which is so strong in its own right, just to sort of hold back. If they were able to pull that off, it would have bought time for Praetor. He would have become unstoppable, and Pups able to 2v1, and that would have been a massive asset to them, and they just never got to that point in the game.
Well, it has been a theme of the weekend, the Baron steal or dodgy Baron play. So let's take a look at this 25-minute Baron steal.
So Chiefs are feeling confident. They're going for the Baron here, and it's just so hard when it's against a Ziggs and a Lee Sin, because Lee Sin's got the execute damage when he throws it in. As you can see, there's the bomb. Shorter Ace seizes his opportunity and takes it right there. And that is such a big difference now for this side. And the reason for that is because Praetor was able to then continue his split push, continue to hold everything off there, and immediately Tainted Minds were able to take everything from them. They got all the infrastructure they needed, put themselves back in the game.
Juves, are other teams going to be watching this weekend's worth of play and be like, hey, look, we've all seen it, we've all seen the Baron steals, we need to be much more reserved in our Baron calls? Or do you think it's just keep going? Just this train's going to Baron Town, you're on it.
I know for a fact that I'm going to look at it and be like, Baron 50-50, not a good idea. 'Cause unless you're a lucky man, then like it can end up in a bad way. And like I don't know, Chiefs were just I think better all round, and like lucky for them. No, not lucky for them, but luckily Tainted didn't execute properly to finish the game, because I feel like Tainted really had the tools to end that game. Like bot open inhib. I think Praetor like greeted for a red buff, and that's when he initially got caught, and that was like the ending to the game. So yeah.
You're right there, because it actually just opened up the Chiefs to launch a counter-attack. And as soon as they did that, they were just, sweep, no worries, we can take this top, we can take that anywhere we want to go, and they were able to win from that.
All right, well, during the game, we all took votes on our MVP, also known as the Radiant Medal, and it is Raze. who was pretty destructive, Max, during that 2-game series there, Mendrix.
He seemed to really be a silent warrior on the side. That he did really well, didn't die at all, as you can see in that game. In that game, 8-0-9 which is just phenomenal, and he was pretty much the same sort of detail in the first game. So this guy was just solid across the board. I mean, we're talking a lot about the flashy plays and everything that was happening, but Rays was just a solid player the entire time.
Juice, you've obviously played against Rays this year and last year. Well, not this year yet, but soon to be. Are you impressed by his play and his improvement over the course of the time you've known him?
Yeah, I definitely think it's big shoes to fill. Like, filling in for Radia or coming in for Radia is like no easy thing to do. So I think like he started off a little bit slow, and there's been talks about King being a better AD carry than him, but I think slowly, like he's showing that he's definitely like a top contender, and I think it's really close between them two for the best AD carries in the region.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, Jake Sportavier is standing by with EGM right now for the interview, so let's cross to him.
I most certainly am Michael Hingersing. This is Jake Sportavier, joined by Bryce, EGM, Paul, Victor, and Chief support that game. I know last week you guys weren't happy with how the victories went. So 2-0 this week against Tainted Mines, obviously an outfit that you guys know quite well. What did you make of the games?
No, we don't know them quite well, actually. We haven't scrimmed them for a while. So I think, but after today, like 2-0, obviously better than a 2-1. And I think they were much cleaner games than they were versus Direwolves. We went back after that win last week and kind of did a lot of work and like cleaned up our play a bit. And I think this week was a lot better.
All right, cool. And with that play, I mean, were you expecting them to go back to the Ziggs marksman? Because we saw it in game 1 and they did pick up a flurry of early turrets, but then couldn't really team fight. Were you surprised they went back to it again?
Actually, honestly, yes. I feel like getting beaten on such it's not a standard comp. I guess it's standard at this point, but it's very linear in what it wants to do. So like losing after having such a big advantage in the first game and then going back to that comp was pretty brave. But like I guess in both games, I had quite a good early start, I think. And then obviously like in the second game, we gave them Baron and stuff. But I was surprised they went back to it, yeah.
What happened with the Baron? I mean, did you not have enough burst damage? Only 1,000 crit, like smite available? Like what was going through your guys' head?
Yeah, it was a bit of an iffy Baron in itself. And then, yeah, we were going to like time it with a Jhin 4th shot. And we would like, in the comms, I think Sam or Spooks was just like, oh, this is pretty iffy. And then, yeah, Quinn Rays got the MVP, played really well, but he just like whacks the Baron with his 4th shot. Is at 200 HP. And like I just see like a slow-mo Lee Sin Q just like flying over the wall. He's just zooming in and then like they take the Baron and that's the rest of the game, I guess, yeah.
I guess you guys were able to claw your way back. I mean, last week, the bookends, you and Swiper able to have pretty solid performances. This time around, come on, mate. You stole a Baron and got a double kill.
In the last game, I think Swiper played a lot better overall. Like, not better, but like he's been playing a lot more consistently, yeah.
Yeah, it certainly has. But this week, it really looked like Spooks, Swiffer, and Rays much more involved. Is this like a concerted effort for you guys to get the carries involved earlier on in the game? I saw a pretty comprehensive camp come out in that mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, we just played to our strength, I guess. And I think you say it was more the carries, but DOS this game, big sweeps in the top lane, absolute sponge. Like there were so many times where like he's just deleted the wave when they've tried to dive him and stuff, and we've got advantages off that. Like when they just ulted mid, or I think they ulted mid, I didn't have vision, and then walked top, and we just traded like 2-for-1 turret spot. I think that was kind of it gets overlooked really easily, and that's like a really big play out of Brandon.
All right, well, congratulations on the win. However, we will throw it back to Hingers at the desk to close out the week.
Well, there we have it, Spawn with EGM there, and seems pretty happy with his performance this week and last week. Juves, do you agree with that?
Hey, a win's a win. I'd be happy with a win. I'm a little bit upset still, so you gotta be happy for the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could definitely be happy with a 2-0 as well. The big thing about that is they will end up getting those extra points, which is always lovely to gobble up, put themselves higher in that ladder, and again, it was much cleaner from the Direwolves, able to end it quite well, except that one Baron hiccup.
And then Spawn as well, being very respectful in that interview. Would like to see him be potentially less respectful. You can tune into the OPL podcast show, which is released every Friday, and it's going to be available on SoundCloud. Myself and Spawn, we're joined by a variety of guests, and we're going to be reviewing and previewing OPL matches as well as stuff around the world, all things League of Legends. But let us now go to the standings, because we have a completed weekend of League of Legends. In the top, we have Legacy, 2 bonus point wins with 6 points at the top. The Chiefs there in second place with 5 points. Direwolves, Avant-Garde, Tainted Minds, and then down the bottom we have Sin Gaming, Abyss Esports, and still looking for that first win, Exile 5. Juves, I mean, you've got some improving to do, I guess. How are you feeling about that?
You know, seeing the ladder puts it into perspective. And it hurts my heart a little
sorry
bit.
to
You
do
know
that
what I
to you.
mean? I come in today, I didn't think I'd get roasted, and then I looked at the ladder, and it's just a good roasting.
Intentional.
Yeah.
That's not me doing it.
Nah.
That's the straight up numbers and maths.
That's just statistics,
You're
isn't
just
it?
sitting here the whole day like, everything's been pretty good.
Yes.
Oh,
The
the
ladder,
graphic
and I'm
got
just
me
like-
in the end. Oh, no.
Well, no, we do appreciate you being here, but let's also take a look at the schedule for next week. See your viewing. Sin, your boys are going to be taking on Legacy. It's a tough game for you guys, obviously. Legacy have been playing very well. Abyss Esports and AV. And then on Sunday, we see Chiefs take on XL5 and Tainted Minds. The Direwolves in a game that will be as hotly contested as Tainted Minds and Chiefs was today. Anyway, that is enough from me, Michael Hingersing, and I'm joined here at the desk by Nathan Mendrix Mendez and Juves here as well. So thank you to all for coming in, and that's all from us.
Jump straight on top of him, though. Shorter Ace is close by. Spooks is here too. Lands the Q, gets some good damage down, but he flashes away. Choo-Choo's on top of him, gets the return kill. Going to be locking down Rosie. He gets stunned up again, the target for these fights. Egypt though taking a lot of damage in return. Rosie wants him, forced to flash away. Shorter Ace now on top of Raze, but he's the one taking a lot of damage here. Cake throws up the Mega Inferno Ball, whiffs as no one gets taken down. The jungler's going to be dead. Cake's now the one gets jumped on. Swiffer's on top of Choo-Choo's. Can they stop this Baron? There's the Mega Inferno Ball coming out as well as a shock blast. Shorter Ace goes in. He's stolen the Baron, takes it away from the Chiefs, and Fiora is still split pushing. Going to be low. Cake though, so much damage. The Conical comes out. Swiffer gets the snipe. Now Rosie's the one that's in trouble. Big damage coming up for Raze. Egypt picks up the kill. Up, and here comes Big Swips. Gonna put up the clap. Locks them all down. Rosie's gonna be the first target to fall here as the rest of the Cheese squad barrel on through, looking to lock down member after member. The Crunts are gonna take the brunt of the anger for Tainted Minds, but they've lost their top laner and support.
Yeah, they certainly have, and all of a sudden, Swiffer looking to clean up even more kills.
There's Raze flashing in, spins around and around, gets the kill. Shorter Ace fights the super minions, but the boxing gloves come out and pick up a kill. Ace for the Chiefs, and Tainted Minds are gonna fall 2-0.